I was running the streets of Harlem, New York in 1962, and there was a young man on the corner that was attracting attention. He was literally on a soapbox speaking. So I walked over to him. Remember, I'm only 17 years old. The man's name at that time was Stokeley Carmichael. Stokeley Carmichael was the left-wing version of Dr. Martin Luther King's tribe that fought for civil rights, voting rights, and fair housing in the United States. He was a radical. And he said something so powerful at 17 years old, it sunk deep into my subconscious mind and essentially changed the entire trajectory of my life. I'm going to read to you precisely what Stokely Carmichael said on that summer day, 125th Street and Lenox Avenue, right down from the Apollo. This is what he said. He said, no black person in this world makes any advancement solely based on his or her talent or worth. All individual advancement is based on mass struggle, that we make no progress in this world without shedding our blood. Thus, your advancement and success does not belong to you. It belongs to the people. And if you do not use your success or advancement for the benefit of your people, it is a betrayal of the people who shed their blood for you. Now, I heard that as a 17-year-old. Stokely Carmichael, who later changed his name to Kwame Toure, married the beautiful um, Miriam Makeba, okay, and moved to South Africa. So that infected and affected my worldview. The Nobel Prize winning author Toni Morrison said it differently. She said the same thing but differently. She said, if you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. The great African-centric scholar, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, born and raised in Harlem, was the mentor to Malcolm X. He said it very simply. He said the same thing, but simpler. He said, take what you do best and do it for your people. Well, that is absolutely correct. We must do it for our own people. Why? Because too many of us, not all of us, rely on what is called cognitive bias to make our decisions, as opposed to critical thinking. Cognitive bias is a systematic thought process caused by the tendency, my brothers and sisters, of the human brain to simplify information processing through a filter of personal experiences and preferences. In other words, it's not a really informed decision. Critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully and conceptualizing and applying and analyzing and synthesizing and or evaluating information gathered from or generated by an observation experience, reflection, reasoning, analysis, effective communications, and you use that as a guide to your belief and to your actions. We must all become critical thinkers, and we have the capacity to do that. We are God's first people. We were building pyramids and solving complex engineering problems when other cultures were living in caves, eating each other in the Caucasus Mountains. And that's an anthropological fact. That is not cognitive bias. So we must fix whatever situation we are in, wherever we are. We must fix this. Let me say that a different way. We are all drinking from wells that we did not dig, that we are standing on the shoulders of giants.